I'll give you guys the answer early. Is Jake Paul natural? No. I can say that with pretty certain confidence in that statement, mainly because, as you heard me mention, I know a lot of the people he trains with, and I have heard
The bumps.
Went right over it.
Those little bumps you had on your face kind of alarmed me. You wouldn't be happening to taking PEDs, are you?
Listen, if you want to build an excuse.
I mean, it's so sad that like millions of people believe that. It's fucking absurd. Like, first of all, there's obviously none of that's true. Like,
I'll give you guys the answer early. Is Jake Paul natural? No, I can say that with pretty certain confidence in that statement. Mainly because, as you heard me mention, I know a lot of the people he trains with, and I have heard things right over it. Those little bumps you had on your face kind of alarm me you wouldn't be happen to taking peds or you listen. If you want to build in excuses, right, I mean it. Tested it so it's so sad that like millions of people believe that it's __. Absurd. Like, first of all, there's obviously none of that's true. Like, Jake Paul's upcoming fight against Mike Tyson is a clash that is already shrouded in controversy, as many see this fight as a mismatch of epic proportions. Recently, however, Paul has invited more controversy, as he is now being accused of using performance-enhancing substances and steroids to get an edge over his more experienced competitor. This isn't the first time Paul has been accused of indulging in PDS. As you'll soon find out in today's video, many believe Paul's boxing career is a sham and one built on steroids, and selectively choosing his opponents. The boxing world especially isn't keen on this fight taking place, and many are slamming the young influencer and aspiring boxer for fighting a boxing icon who is nearly 3 decades older than him. 4-time world boxing champion and Hall of Famer Carl Frew vehemently expressed his disapproval and concern over the bout between Paul and the legendary Tyson. Frock, known for his straightforward and non-nonsense analysis of the sport, didn't hold back in his critique of what he perceives as a glaring mismatch and an affront to the sport. He deeply respects an icon in the professional boxing world, and Jake Paul's not even a pro boxer. So when I heard this fight was happening, I was absolutely disgusted. And I think it's so bad for boxing. Fr began by acknowledging the sheer improbability, and in his view, the inappropriateness of pairing a young aspiring boxer like Jake Paul, who was in his mid-20s, against a seasoned, albeit aged veteran like Mike Tyson, who was nearing 60, highlighting Tyson's past as the baddest man on the planet, and his current engagements, including his known usage of cannabis and struggles with back pain. Fro painted a picture of a fighter who has long moved past his prime. He voiced his disgust straightforwardly, indicating that the fight felt more like an exploitation than a fair match. The boxing legend raised concerns about the implications of such a fight for the sport of boxing, emphasizing how it portrays Jake Paul in a negative light, likening him to a bully for taking on an older and presumably less capable Tyson. Froch questioned what Paul aimed to prove or gain from defeating a man significantly older and years removed from his best fighting days. He argued that there was nothing commendable about beating someone well past their prime, suggesting that such a victory would be follow at best. Moreover, Furch expressed worry over the fight's location at the massive Cowboy Stadium in Dallas, Texas, fearing the spectacle was more about monetary gain than sporting integrity. He lamented the idea that Tyson might be fighting out of financial necessity, hoping instead that the once fearsome boxer had better reasons for returning to the ring. Ultimately, for his reaction to the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight is one of disappointment and concern. He views the match as detrimental to the sport's reputation, reducing it to mere spectacle rather than a contest of skill and determination. For his comments reflect a broader anxiety about the direction of professional boxing and the influence of celebrity bouts on the public's perception of the sport. Jake Paul already has a bad reputation in the boxing world for wanting to fight Mike Tyson. However, if that wasn't enough already, Paul is now being accused of indulging in performance-enhancing drugs or PEDs. This is a massive allegation against the young boxer, and it could have serious repercussions ahead of the fight. which is scheduled to take place on July 20th. YouTuber Kenny Co recently exposed Paul's steroid use he began by leveraging his connections within the boxing and athletic training communities, and claims to have insider information regarding Jake Paul's training regimen. He notes a widespread misconception that athletes in high-intensity sports, like boxing, MMA, NFL, and even cycling, do not require PDS. Contrary to this belief, Kenny Co argues that steroids can significantly boost an athlete's recovery explosiveness and overall performance, making them a tempting option across all sports disciplines. A key point of suspicion arises from Jake Paul's noticeable change in body composition and explosiveness attributes that have significantly improved over a relatively short period. Kenny Co finds it particularly suspicious that Jake Paul has consistently declined drug tests, especially when opponents like Tyson Fury requested them to be included in fight contracts. This reluctance has fueled speculation about Paul's natural status, casting a shadow of doubt over his athletic integrity. Kenny Co emphasizes that steroids play a critical role in the world of combat sports, allowing athletes to train harder, recover faster, and enhance their power and speed, key components to success in the ring. He acknowledges that many fighters seek that competitive edge, making the use of PEDs a common practice to maintain performance while staying within their weight class. This isn't the first time Paul the boxer has been under the spotlight for using steroids. During his previous fights, too, the problem child was suspected of using banned substances. Paul may have a naturally well-built physique, but his ripped look during his weigh-ins has earned him similar criticism from the fans. As well, the caption to Drama Alert's post revealed that this time it was Paul's acne-ridden face that made them bash Paul. It read, Jake Paul caught on steroid. People think so due to recent acne photos. While there were a few replies that defended Paul, the majority of reactions to the post revealed that Drama Alert had chosen a proper caption for their post. One of the fans bashed his noted elder brother Logan Paul. As well, he wrote, both Pauls are steroid addicts. One more fan wrote, acne is normal. But I get what people are saying. Another fan also supported the accusations against Paul, writing he lied. He wasn't taking any of that. One of the few replies defending Paul read, now, I'm not a big fan of his, but you guys do know you can get acne without taking steroids, right, lol. And it's not just fans who are suspecting that Paul is on steroids. Tyron Woodley's observations during his first fight with Jake Paul, where Woodley pointed out unusual bumps on Paul's face, hinting at possible steroid use. Vamp right over it. Those little bumps you had on your face kind of alarm me. You wouldn't be hap to taking peds. Are you? Listen, if you want to build in excuses. Write this accusation alongside Kenny Co's analysis has contributed to the growing skepticism surrounding Paul's natural athlete status. But how did Paul respond to the allegations against him? Well, Paul has been vocal in his response to the steroid allegations in a candid discussion on his podcast, BS.V. Jake Paul. He openly addressed the accusations, presenting his side of the story with a mix of defiance and detailed clarification. Paul has firmly denied using steroids, labeling the accusations as baseless, and emphasizing his commitment to integrity in the sport. He has taken to social media and public appearances, including his podcast, to showcase drug test results and challenge his detractors directly. His approach is a blend of frustration at the claims and a determined effort to clear his name. In addition to addressing the steroid allegations, Paul also took the opportunity to clarify rumors about the rules of his fight with Mike Tyson. Speculation had been rife with bizarre claims, including that he would be allowed to wear headgear, and even more outlandish that he could tag team with his brother Logan. During the match, he vehemently dismissed these rumors as absurd, stressing the seriousness with which he approaches the fight and the respect he has for the sport of boxing. Paul's podcast, BS.V. Jake Paul, has become a key platform for him to speak directly to his audience, offering insights into his training regime, his thoughts on the fight, and his reactions to ongoing controversies. Joined by his girlfriend, Judah Leardom, Paul shared his excitement and preparation for the Tyson fight, emphasizing his readiness and dismissing concerns over the age difference between him and Tyson. Throughout the discussion, Paul also touched on his broader ambitions in the boxing world, including potential future fights and his goal to fight for a world championship. He remains bullish about his chances against Tyson and is keen on proving his critics wrong by demonstrating his skill and commitment in the ring. Jake Paul's fiery response to steroid allegations and his detailed clarification of the fight rules reflect his combative approach to controversies. As the fight with Mike Tyson approaches, Paul is focused on preparation and is eager to let his performance in the ring speak for itself. Whether addressing rumors or discussing his future in boxing, Paul's use of his podcast to communicate directly with fans underscores his savvy in managing his public image and staying engaged with his audience. Despite his best efforts to show that he's serious about the fight, Mike Tyson's former trainer thinks otherwise. The renowned American boxing trainer Teddy Atlas believes both fighters may have agreed on how their fight will end, unless this is a WWE agreement. Which I don't know that it is. I never said this before because I think all these fights are legitimate. And they are and have been, but this one makes me wonder, Atlas said on his YouTube channel. I'm not questioning